welcome to tonight's Agenda Forum meeting. A declaration of opening is made at 5:30 p.m. For anyone looking online now or later, and any members of the gallery, that's members of the public. Tonight is a question and answer night. So councillors get to ask questions and then make decisions at next week's ordinary council meeting. Thank you everyone for attending. So we have item number 2, which is opening procedures. 2.1 is acknowledgement of country, and I'd like to invite Councillor Williams to present the acknowledgement of country.
Shire of Northam acknowledges the continuing connection of Aboriginal people to country, culture and community, and embraces the vast Aboriginal cultural diversity throughout Australia. On the land of the Balladong Noongar and Whadjuk Noongar people where we meet, we acknowledge and pay respect to elders past and present.
Thank you very much, Councillor Williams. So item 2.2 is recording of council meetings. So members of council are aware, and members of the gallery, if they're not aware, are advised that this meeting is being live streamed and audio recorded, and it's made available on the Shire of Northam's YouTube channel. If members of the public would like to have access to the recording of this meeting, they can do so via the Shire of Northam website. And it is findable because I've done it myself. Item 3 is attendance. Welcome everyone, I forgot to say that before. So as always, I'll go from left to right and welcome councillors. So we welcome Councillor Williams, welcome Councillor Hughes, President Antonio, that's myself, is here, welcome Councillor Gira, and welcome Councillor Biglan. And I'll get to the rest of the councillors as we go through. And the staff that are in attendance is the Chief Executive Officer, Ms. Terralik, Executive Manager Engineering Services, Mr. Devsich, Executive Manager Development and Community Services, Mr. Hunt, Executive Manager Corporate Services, Mr. Streets, Manager Governance and Risk, Ms. McCall, and Governance and Risk Officer, Ms. Blase. So we go to page 7, which is item 3.2, which is apologies. We have an apology from Councillor Ryan and Councillor Polton. And item 3.3 is approved leave of absence. Deputy President Councillor Mencelli has been granted a leave of absence from 13 April 2026 to 23rd April 2026 inclusive. Item 3.4 absent is nil. Item number 4 on page 8 is disclosure of interest. I do have a number. So we have item 12.1, which is Community Grants Assessment Committee meeting held on the 8th of April 2026. The following councillors have all declared impartiality in this item, and that is Councillor Gierak. Members of the community organisations applied for the grants are known to Councillor Gierak. Councillor Williams, impartiality. As per the declaration made at the committee meeting, item 12.1, same item, Councillor Hughes. Councillor Hughes is a member of some of the organisations receiving grants. President Antonio, same item, as per the declaration made at the committee meeting. And Councillor Biglan. Councillor Biglan is currently Secretary Treasurer of Wandari Progress Association and constructed the application. Members of Bakers Hill Progress and known to Councillor Biglan. So then we go to item 13.3.1 is Fire Control Officer nominations. Councillor Gierak has declared impartiality. Councillor Gierak is the council representative of the Bushfire Advisory Committee, and some members mentioned in the report are known to Councillor Gierak. Same item, Councillor Williams, impartiality, nominees are known to Councillor Williams. Councillor Hughes, same item. Councillor Hughes is a member of some of the organisations receiving, Bushfire Control. Some of the names put forward for selection for fire control officers are known to Councillor Hughes. Same item, President Antonio, that's myself. President Antonio knows all the fire control officer nominees. The list includes President Antonio's brother and Councillor Biglan. Some of the nominees are known to Councillor Biglan. That's the same item. There is 114.1. This is behind closed doors, so I'll just read that out as we get to that one. So that's all the declarations, and the councillors are well aware that as the item comes up, they can make a declaration before we start any questions on that. So then we go to page 9, which is item number 5, announcements by the presiding member without discussion. So that is taken as read. So we go down to page 11. That's correct. Yes, we have public questions. So I have a number here, which I'll just go through quickly. The question and answers are as per the agenda item. Some of these have been answered before, so what I'll do is I'll read out the summary of the question, and then we have also provided a written response which is in the minutes, and it will be included in the minutes of tonight's Forum Council meeting and the Ordinary Council meeting next week. There are 6 questions, 3 have been previously provided, but we still provided written answers, and 3 are new, so I'll read those out in full. So the questions are from Ms Cunningham. So the summary of question 1, Shire of Northam Local Planning Scheme, Northam LPS defines light industry as an industry which will not adversely affect the amenity of the locality and will not impose an undue load on any existing or proposed essential services or utilities. Why was a 9 metre tall data centre stated as being for cryptocurrency mining approved for a light industry lot at Avon West Transport Hub at 239 Yilgarn Ave, when data centres are known to need significant amounts of electricity and water to run intensity computing and cooling systems and can make persistent low frequency humming. There is a response there and has been provided previously, so the response is in the minutes. Summary of question 2, why was this 9 metre tall data centre to be built at Avon West Transport Hub on Yilgarn Ave approved without being advertised for public consultation? That question has previously been answered, but there is a response provided in the minutes. Summary of question 3. At the recent Council Plan Review Workshop at Northam on 1 April 2026, participants were asked to rate and give feedback on proposed priorities for the 2026 to 2032 Shire of Northam. Just make sure I go down to the correct page. Council Plan. Why was it proposed priority for Council to advocate for provision of services and utilities at Avon West Transport Hub when the approved development proposal states the site will be off-grid with a private solar and hydrogen microgrid, bespoke wastewater treatment facility with rainwater tanks on each lot? Response to question 3. The draft council plan priority projects that will workshop with the community on 1 April 2026 included an action to advocate for state government to deliver utility infrastructure, including water, power, gas and telecommunications, to support development of the Yilgarn Avenue light industrial area. This proposed priority project relates to the Yilgarn Avenue precinct and supports the objectives of the Shire of Northam Local Planning Strategy as amended by Council on 22 August 2024. The LPS, that's Local Planning Strategy, identifies Yilgarn Avenue as an appropriate location for the long-term expansion of industrial land subject to land capability assessment and the provision of appropriate servicing, with the delivery of key utility infrastructure recognised as a critical enabler of industrial development in this location. Summary of question 4. Amendment number 17 was added to the Northam LPS on the 14th of April 2024 and involved rezoning of the Avon West Transport Hub site at 239 Yilgarn Ave from environmental conservation to light and service industry, and detailed additional requirements that apply to the land. Why did the brief to the Shire of Northern Council for this amendment, item 13.3.2, at ordinary council and ordinary meeting, 15 December 2021, categorise the risk implications of, in inverted commas, removal of significant remnant and native vegetation, and inverted commas, as likelihood low, consequence minor is low risk implications. When the WA Environmental Protection Authority or the Department of Climate Change, Energy, the Environment and Water had not made any decision or provided formal advice on the scheme amendment. Response to question 4. As included in the risk assessment in the question, it is noted that the proposal was referred to the Environmental Protection Authority, EPA, being the relevant state government agency with appropriate subject matter expertise for its assessment of any environmental implications as per the normal statutory planning procedure for a scheme amendment. Summary of question 5. Why was the proposal to clear the remnant eucalypt woodland on the site not referred under the Environmental Protection and Biodiversity Conservation Act 1999, considering that environmental surveys in 2021 and 2022 found that this woodland provided high quality foraging habitat to a threatened species under this Act? There is a response to the summary of question 5 in the minutes. That has previously been answered, so this is a written response which is provided in the minutes of tonight's forum meeting and will be in the ordinary council meeting. Then we have summary of question 6. What is the authority under which the acting CEO signed off LPS amendment number 17 on 12 April 2024 for Gazettal? Response to question 6. Is local planning scheme amendment number 17 was approved by council at its meeting held on 19 September 2023. The documentation required to support the Gazettal process was signed under common seal by the Shire President and Temporary Chief Executive Officer on 29 September 2023. Council Decision C.4828 on 9 August 2023 relates to the appointment of the Temporary Chief Executive Officer. So that's the previous public questions. Public questions that were provided to us. Just want to double check with members of the public that we don't have any further questions.
I've got some questions.
As long as they're separate.
Yeah, separate.
Yes, okay. Please come up and you know the drill.
Is it better if I sit or stand? It doesn't matter.
The microphone.
Oh, this one?
That's fine.
You get the microphone on top. Thank you.
Good evening, President, councillors and officers. Thank you for the opportunity to ask some questions without notice. These questions relate to the public tender of the lease for 470 Great Eastern Highway and also community cropping. What was the Shire documentation required to make a public tender submission for the lease of this lot?
Yeah, so all information that was required to be included in the tender submission was listed on the access page of the website. So there was, I think, 4 or 5 requirements off the top of my head. And there was also a map that was also embedded into the page of the website. So they were the primary documents required in tender.
But what was the Shire documentation required?
So there wasn't a specific document because it was embedded into the page of the website.
What do you mean by embedded?
So when you click the tender page, there was the notice which had all of the requirements for the tender listed, as well as a map which showed the portions of the lots that were offered the tender.
Okay, thank you. Thanks. And then community crops. The Shire of Nowrangarup leases land for a community crop which is sown, managed and harvested in a collaborative effort, and the proceeds are divided up between a number of group and community infrastructure projects, such as a community sports centre. Towns like Franklin River and Tambellup have community cropping committees that help coordinate the charity cropping program and decide where profits should go, such as local sporting clubs, the Country Women's Association and projects like the purchase of a community bus. Was a collaborative structure like this, has a collaborative structure like this been considered for land the Shire leases for community cropping?
Yes, thank you for the question. No, in this instance, with this particular lot, it was put out for public tender and we received a submission, and that submission came to council, and that was the lease that was assigned.
What about more generally?
Not at this point in time, no. Yeah, and we do also have a community grants program.
Thanks. King Creek Park or Realine Park at the corner of Frossel Street and Crang Road is a public park and recreation land, and around 4 hectares of the block has been cropped since at least 2010. Which charitable organisation or sports club puts in a community crop here in from 2023 to 2025? I understand you might not be able to answer this right away, but
Corner of Throstle and
Portford. It's like 80, it's next to 90 Throstle. I think it's like 89 Throstle. Oh, sorry, 80.
we'll take that on
On notice, okay. And then also, probably also on notice, the neighbouring block at 90 Throstle Street is land designated for the public purpose of the school, and around 4 hectares of this has been cropped since at least 2010. What charitable organisation or sports clubs puts in a community crop at 90 Throstle in the last couple of years, like 2023 to 2025? Also, last question, just...
Take that on notice.
Yeah, on notice? Okay, sorry. I understand the Shire legally does not have to publicly advertise tenders for sale or lease of land to charitable organisations or sporting clubs. However, could a list be made publicly with the details of Shire land that's leased for charitable and community purposes such as community halls, community crops, etc., to maximise awareness, utilisation and support? And also, how many hectares of Shire land is currently leased for agricultural cropping or grazing for charitable purposes? Thank you.
We'll take that on notice.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you.
We'll see if there's any more public questions.
I've noticed that there's not enough students around in like Help Track and the Furlong River. I was wondering, is the Shire able to like put some bins there on with a few groups like Sue Rogers, Clean Up Northern Crew, and Amy Jacob, Guardians and Swans. So I was wondering, would we get a few bins organised? Because like, we do a bit and pick up some rubbish up our own free will all the time. But you know, it'll just make it easier for us.
Is that right? Sorry, just in the record, because it's recorded, can you just say your name?
Oh, name is King Stoner.
Thank you. Because it's recorded, so
Oh, sorry.
take your answer.
I'm sure the information provided to our waste project officer, we can look at potentially adding extra street bins or if there's a specific clean-up day, we're more than happy to try and assist with bins, etc. on those days.
Yeah. One more thing, I'm renovating the house, well, I'm doing a little bit of work in my house. I've come across a few leaks on the roof. I was wondering, do I need a builder's permit to replace the roof? It's just a tin, it's nothing structural, it's just a bit of tin. I replaced a few leaks, but then I realised, because my house is 125 years old, you know, it's old, so I need to replace the tin because it's pretty derelict, very old.
I'm definitely going to revert that question to the officers.
I think the most appropriate way would be to come and make an appointment with one of our building staff, just have a chat with them, or give them a phone call, etc., and they can provide the advice. Yeah, very difficult to answer that question, very generic question. Yeah, I'm more than happy to facilitate discussion with one of our staff members.
Yeah, I just don't want to be liable because I'm in the process of selling my house, so I don't want to be burnt. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Good answer.
So much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we've got another member of the public, see if there's any further questions. Last call. Okay, so we go to page, that's Councillor Williams. We go to page 14. We have item number 7, response to previous public questions taken with notice. That is nil. Item number 8 is receiving of petitions, presentations and deputations. 8.1 petitions is nil. 8.2 presentations. You'll note in the minutes or the agenda item, there's going to be a presentation next week, so we'll save that till the next week. And 8.3 deputations. This is the last time when members of the gallery or the public can participate in this meeting. I just wanted to check there was no deputation, which is basically a statement from members of the public. No statements? No. Okay, so we go to page 15, which is item number 9, application for leave of absence. we've got a recommendation there, so we're going to vote on that next week, see if there's any questions on that. No? So still on page 15. Item number 10 is confirmation of minutes. 10.1 is confirmation of minutes from the ordinary council meeting held 25th of March 2026. See if there's any questions or clarifications on those minutes, councillors. No, a few shakes of the head. And then we've got 10.2 on page 16, which is notes from the council forum meeting held 15th of April. That's tonight, so I'll deal with that next week, see if there's any questions or clarifications. Item number 11 is items brought forward for the convenience of those in the public gallery. There's no items, but I did neglect to say that if anyone does want to leave at any stage, you don't need to do it with reference to myself. You can go or stay, or you're quite welcome to stay and enjoy our hospitality. Item number 12 is reports of committee meetings. 12.1 is Community Grants Assessment Committee meeting held 8th of April 2026. Just a reminder that Councillor Guerra, Councillor Williams, Councillor Youth, President Antonio and Councillor Bigger all declared impartiality in this item. Just seeing if there was any questions on that. No.
So there was one, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
The Clinical Board, it's been reduced from 3,000 to 2,000. Is there a reason for it?
Yeah, I understand that was actually requested by the Avon Valley Art Society because they preferred to have more money put into the other.
The Northern Art Awards.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's right.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So any further questions? Question, Councillor. So no other questions. So then we're going to go to page 18. So item 13 is officer reports. 13.1 is CEO's office. There are no reports. 13.2 is engineering services. There are no reports. 13.3 is development and community services. 13.3.1 is fire control officer nominations. Just wanted to remind everyone that Councillor Guerra declared impartiality, Councillor Williams declared impartiality, Councillor Hughes declared impartiality, Councillor Bigman declared impartiality, and should just say all councillors present. So it's the same with every item, so all declared impartiality. Any questions, councillors? Yeah, Councillor Guerra.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just in regards to on page 22, on the two of the officers who will propose to be appointed without the training is completed. I'm just wondering if this wording is actually clearly indicates that we are aware that we are appointing the officers without the training is completed, or we will be appointing them after they completed the training. I don't quite.
Just refer to page 23 with the recommendation.
So it's subject to appointees completing the minimum training requirements. So that means, but we have to vote on this now. So they will be voting on it, that they will be appointed only after the training is completed, not before.
That's correct, yes. My understanding is that two of those officers, it's actually waiting for DFS to sign off on the training requirements. Is that correct, Mr. Hunt?
That's correct.
Yes. So once that sign off is received and once the training has been completed for Mr. Hunt, then they will be appointed as the fire control officers.
Further questions, councillors? I did have one, just on page 27 with the actual minutes, the declaration voting was made at 5:31. Just doesn't have a name, so I was just curious, do we need to have a name of who opened the meeting? Does that matter?
We can just clarify that. There was the chairperson at the time.
Yeah, thank you. That was the questions. No other questions, councillors? And then we go to page 37. So 13.4 is corporate services. 13.4.1 is accounts and statements of accounts March 2026. I haven't seen any questions come through prior. councillors can still do that between now and next week. Just for Mr Streets, if we just do it by Friday, if we do ask questions, please, if there's any questions. But is there anything urgent that's out of there, councillors? No? No? Just making sure. And then we go to page 86. So item 13.4.2, financial statements for the period ending 31st of March 2026. Any questions on this? I only had one question which has been answered, Mr Streets, I'll just direct it towards you. It was about capital grants on page 90. Capital grants were down, but then I see in the notes, it's a matter of timing. Some of them haven't been received. Just wanted to clarify that. And I just wanted to make a comment. I said to the officer before, on page 106 with rates outstanding, it's not a question, I'm phrased it as a question. How well done is that to have the rates collection at this level? Question mark.
Very well done, and cardinal compliments for the right staff.
So any further questions, councillors? No? Oh, sorry, Councillor Keary.
Right, no, sorry, I lost the page. That was, I just put it in my point at the top there.
Yeah, Councillor Biggin's got a question. Why are you looking, Councillor Bigman?
The purchase infrastructure assets bridges, it was budgeted for 643 to 238, and it's been revised for 7. Sorry, it's only, we've only spent 75, is that correct?
Mind if you put your microphone on, sorry. We'll just start that again.
Sorry, I'll call you. The infrastructure assets bridges, 643, and it's been revised to 75,000. Are we not doing the work on it, or we shifted the money, or?
So money has been shifted, but 400,000 of that was spent on your road bridge. So a lot of that has been committed, but just hasn't been invoiced appropriately by main roads at this stage.
Further questions, councillors? No? So 13.4.2, then we go to page 109. So can I please have a mover and a seconder for this? Councillor Hughes is moving. I saw Councillor Durack's hand in second. Proceed, we'll put it straight to the vote. All those in favour will go behind closed doors. That's 5-0. Staff and just
Quite welcome to return if you want.
Is anyone coming back in? Okay. Okay, so the members of the public who are still here, so we're still on page 109 of 109. So item number 15, motion which previous notice has been given is nil. Item 16, urgent business approved by decision is nil. Item 17, declaration of closure is made at 6:01 p.m. I'd like to thank the council for the questions, officers for the professional reports and question and answers, and anyone for attending. And that's it, and we'll come back next week